Okay, that's good. Mr. Concert, soccer tryout tonight, soccer practice.
Okay, it is 7:01. I am calling to order the meeting of the retiring Board of Education for CCSD59. It is Wednesday, May 7th. Can I have Secretary Eddie call the roll, please?
Okay, we're just going to call it real quick. Zach? Present. Eddie? Present. Notini? Present. Kitzinger? Present. Chesney?
Present.
Johnson?
Here.
Sager?
Here. All right, next is the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is comments and suggestions from the public. If anybody signed up, but if not, does anybody wish to address the board tonight?
Never mind. He's going to go over the next one.
All right. Okay, we can move on to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve items? You good? Okay. Items 4.01 through 4.07.
So moved.
Ooh, I get a second.
Second.
And second, anybody have any questions, comments?
I just wanted to note item 4.07, approval of consolidated district plan. So this is something that's in addition to our regular sort of consent agenda. I wonder if we can just have just a little description of what that plan involves. Yes, I would be happy to share. So what our CDP is, it's an annual, it's basically what is like an application to the state that we are intending to apply for federal funds. That would be Title I, II, 3, and 4. So what the CDP typically entails is a very detailed sort of description of the needs assessments that we go through in order to determine what our focus areas and what we anticipate we're going to need to use those funds for. So the CDP that you had added to your packet is developed by multiple members of the district team. So I will take care of one grant, somebody else will another one, and then we all look at it together, we review it because it has to do with different funds have sort of different requirements. Title I can be used for some things, Title II for some things. And what we want to do as a district is we want to ensure that we're being efficient in how we're using those funds. So if we, for example, if something can be used in one grant but not another, we'll want to be purposefully thinking about, okay, we're going to put our thought that this will be used in this grant because we can't use this grant for this. So really that's what it is in general. And then once we submit it to the state, it is noted on the CDP that we have to have board approval, that you've reviewed it, that you've seen it, in order for us to press that submit button to ISB. Once that goes to the state, we'll then get notification that our grants are ready. The CDP is very broad. If you took a look at it, you'll see that it's broad, general ideas on how we will use those funds. However, once we get into the grant writing, that's where we get into much more specifics. Exactly what we're going to use it for, set asides for buildings, and all of those components. That's in general what that is. Okay, yeah, I just think maybe going forward, this might be the type of thing what we have a short presentation on, just so we can see, you know, what your team's thoughts are and how to allocate those funds. And is there ever any response like to the plan? I mean, or is it just something that goes along with
your annual application? Do they ever ask questions,
Oh,
come back?
yes. So once we submit the CDP, it often gets bounced back to us with questions. And there's some technical aspects we need to check, double check. And then once they've approved it, it has to go through like 5 or 6 phases because it's got to go through Title 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. And then sometimes it gets stopped at one grant where they're going to come back, ask us some questions about it. And so once we get that finally submitted with no more bouncing back, as we call it, then we're ready to go ahead with our grants. The grant rating is a lot more intensive. So one thing I would be happy to do is once we start writing our grants this year, I can put a board update in on a Friday that sort of shares once we're ready to submit what we're looking at overall in Title I, in Title II, and how we're looking at spending those funds. It might be interesting for the board to see that. So I can do that as like a starting point, and then we can kind of go from there.
Definitely. Sounds good. Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Sager.
Aye.
Chesney.
Aye.
Zach.
Aye.
Eddie, I. Johnson.
Aye.
Kinzinger.
Aye.
Notini. Aye.
The motion passes. We can move on to 5.1. This is the food service contract with Organic Life. Do you want to provide any additional, or we?
These are all just previous discussions,
Right,
so you
okay.
can
Okay.
do the motion, and then if there's discussion, you can ask questions.
Okay. Can I get a motion to renew the contract with Organic Life to provide meals for the 25-26 school year?
So moved. Second.
Moved in second. Any questions or discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Chesney.
Abstain.
Zach. Aye. Eddie, I. Johnson.
Aye.
Kinzinger.
Aye.
Notini. Aye. Sager.
Aye.
All right, next we have the setting the meal fees for the 25-26 school year. So I just need a motion to establish the student meal fees for the 25-26 school year. Lunch price $3.45, breakfast price $1.30, reduced lunch price 40 cents. In accordance with federal guidelines, the reduced price breakfast is currently 30 cents and a carton of milk 50 cents.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any questions?
I know this question was posed before. Was there a cap to the top of the cost? They're saying the district is required to increase the meal fees 10 cents a year.
There's no cap with the total amount, but there's a minimum, and that's all we try and follow.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call.
Zach.
Aye.
Eddie, I. Johnson.
Aye.
Kitzinger.
Aye.
Notini. Aye. Sager.
Aye.
Chesney.
Okay, 5.3, this is for the refuse and recycling service. I need a motion to approve the renewal with Republic Service for the 25-26 school year in the amount of $7,140.94 monthly, or the annual cost of $85,691.28.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Not, can we have a roll call vote?
Eddie, I. Johnson.
Aye.
Kitzinger.
Aye.
Notini. Aye. Sager.
Aye.
Chesney.
Aye.
Zach.
Okay, motion passes. Next is health and dental insurance. I need a motion to approve the renewal negotiated by Alera Group on behalf of CCSD59 for, is this for next year?
Yes.
So moved.
In a second.
Second.
All right, any questions? Comments? Not, we do a roll call vote?
Johnson.
Aye.
Kitzinger.
Aye.
Notini. Aye. Sager.
Aye.
Chesney.
Aye.
Zach.
Aye.
Eddie, I.
All right, moving along, we have the workers' compensation insurance renewal. I just need a motion to approve the negotiated agreement by Willis Towers Watson between United Heartland and Community Consolidated District 59.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Moved and second. Any questions? Comments? Roll call vote.
Kitzinger.
Aye.
Notini. Aye. Sager.
Aye.
Chesney.
Aye.
Zach.
Aye.
Eddie, I. Johnson.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Next is the NSSEO budget adoption, which we heard last meeting. We need a motion to participate in the programs and activities of NSSEO during 25-26 school year and to approve the fiscal year 25-26 budget for this organization as presented by their governing board. And we agree to pay our district's pro rata share of the organization's budgeted revenues.
So moved. Second.
Do it again tomorrow.
Any questions? Comments? Okay, roll call vote.
Notini?
Aye.
Sager?
Aye.
Chesney?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Eddie? Oh, aye. Johnson?
Aye.
Kissinger?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes. All right, next is our device refresh purchase plan. Is the purchase price down there somewhere? Okay, got it. Okay, so I just need a motion to authorize the implementation of a plan to provide device and protective cases for all students K through 8 and certified staff with a total cost to be determined, but up to $2,653,516.40.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any questions?
What is the potential scenario in which 6 through 8 would get the Chromebooks?
So we've had a lot of discussion and a lot of evaluation with staff, with students. This last week we had so we wrote this resolution last week. And this past week we had some students at the junior high take the devices throughout their entire day to see which device they preferred. So at this point, the students at the junior high have by a pretty large majority, 70% have preferred the tablet over the Chromebook. And that is with, I think it's 304 students at the junior high level responding to that survey. So we've also had feedback from staff. So we didn't issue a full staff survey to junior high. We don't usually do surveys for full staff at a student device refresh. We invited them to be part of the committee. We invited them to come in and see the evaluation of the devices. So we worked with the staff who also had the student device evaluation in their classroom, and the feedback from them was also the majority of those staff preferred the tablet for their students as well. So I think at this point, sorry, Mrs. Savage is blocking me. Sorry, Susan. Thank you. Yeah, if you could just say like that, that'd be perfect. Wonderful. Thank you. So accommodating. So at this point, based on the student feedback and what we've seen, it looks like that tablet is going to beat the device for K-8.
I guess my question is,
Yeah, so we wrote that last week because we were doing our final evaluation in the classrooms. We hadn't finished friendship yet. So I wanted to make sure that we had all 3 junior highs and had a chance to have options for feedback. We will also have conversations with staff. I will say probably the tablet is very different than the Chromebook. It has 3 pieces. It has a detachable keyboard. A couple of you saw that in action with students. It has a larger stylus. The other Chromebook has a stylus with it as well. It's smaller. So we've talked with staff about any concerns that they would have about things like, what if the students forget the keyboard at home? The tablet still has an on-screen keyboard, so students can still engage in the work. If they forget the stylus, they can still do and navigate the device without the stylus. But what we believe is that students will feel the absence of those and will feel like, I would like to have those with me tomorrow, so I'm going to remember to bring them. So increased opportunity for them to also be mindful of responsibility and bringing them with. So with those pieces, we wanted to make sure staff felt comfortable as well. We do have some staff who preferred the Chromebook, and so we're trying to help staff who prefer the Chromebook as well see why the students preferring the tablet can give us more opportunities. Like, we worked in a science class and they were able to go outside, take photos to classify observations. That's a lot easier to do with a tablet than it is with a Chromebook, even flipped over. You just don't have that same experience. So it is different, and I do understand there are some staff who have some questions about it, but Jenny Santini and I are going to continue to work with staff throughout the spring to help all staff see if a student forgets it, We'll also provide some extra styluses in the classroom. They hold a charge for 10 to 12 hours. But if a student forgets to charge, we'll have a couple chargers available in the classroom. All these contingencies that are concerning for staff that we want to make sure that they understand, we're planning for those. So to answer your question in the longest way possible, it is that we wrote this last week and wanted to make sure we finalized our feedback from all schools.
Now, my question was,
Yes.
this got delayed because of tariff concerns?
Correct.
This is like a solid quote, the inventory exists.
Yes, and the celebration there is that the price came down some, which was unexpected. We were anticipating an increased price, and when they came back with a lower price, we also last week had Lenovo out, a rep from Lenovo and a rep from Google to see it in action, which was really exciting. It was great for them, but our partnership with them to ensure that we're providing what we need for students is really strong as well.
Do we know what the turnaround time is going to be in terms of
We
purchasing
don't
them?
know because that's why as soon as we get approval, I put in for the PO. The way it works for our fiscal year, we need to receive these after July 1. So what CDW will do, our partner, they'll do a buy and hold. So they'll purchase them, try to get us right in line, and they'll hold them in the warehouse and then have them delivered to us on July 1st. Obviously, our concern is we want to make sure we have everything ready for Ridge and we're fully ready to deploy right away when they're going back. So I don't have an ETA right now, other than they've said that they can get the stock and that we're currently in line. I think I mentioned this 2 months ago when we talked about it. No large district has yet jumped us in line, so we're okay at this point. So tomorrow, pending approval, tomorrow I will notify them that let's get it moving and let's secure our inventory.
I have just one other question, and that is, how do we feel the tablet with the detachable keyboard will hold up as young students are learning keyboarding for the first time and also taking their standardized tests?
Yeah, absolutely. So we tested the standardized testing to make sure it works, and I ready all of those pieces to ensure that it works on the device. The keyboard is a slightly smaller keyboard, but what's interesting about the keyboard is the distance from the semicolon, from the A to the semicolon key is only the slightest bit smaller than on a standard size computer. They really save space on the edge keys, so students keyboarding will still transfer. They'll still be able to do home row keyboarding. They'll still be able to learn all of that, and that will transition to devices in the future for them. Also, the keyboard's holding up. The real benefit of a detachable keyboard is right now, if a device has water spilled on it, if there's impact damage, that will impact and damage the components underneath the keyboard, that all of that sits on your device. On the tablets, if we have something happen to the keyboard, it's only the keyboard, and that's only like a $58 replacement instead of a full device replacement. So, and the screens on the tablets are $105 replacement fee or cost. The screens on the Chromebooks are $160. So even repairs are less expensive on the tablets.
Can I ask, I'm sorry, can I ask, are there preventative measures to, are there screen protectors for the tablet piece or?
Yeah, I tested a screen protector, and the one challenge right now with the current screen protectors that are available, they're like the ones you have for your phone. So if you've ever tried to put one of those on without having dust and bubbles, it's just about impossible. So to do that with 6,000 devices, we're seeing as a bit of a challenge. I put one on mine to test, and it took me like 3 applications and some bit of frustration. But to think of that with all the devices, they are tempered glass, but also I know the ones that I put on my kids' devices are cracked somehow magically like in 2 weeks. And so what we don't want to have is, or if students pick at the corners of it, then it starts to come off, and then you always have that slightly off. So what we'd like to do is see what our first year looks like. So, the keyboard also does cover the screen and acts like a screen protector when it's in transit, when they're moving about. So, and it does come with a built-on case. It's screwed on, so kids can't just take it off. It is attached kind of quasi-permanently.
So I got one comment and one question.
Yeah.
The comment is, since you already got experience on putting the protectors, we can put you in line for the 3,000 of them.
Okay, please, that would be wonderful.
Sorry, that was a silly comment, but a serious question. Looking at if there is a higher chance, it sounds like for going of having a lot more of the tablets and the decreased costs of service, does this also translate into decreased cost of insurance for the parents?
Yeah, our next step is we roll that out in the fall. So pending approval, we're looking at what would it be for that insurance costs. And I would imagine The cost of the device is about the same for a full device replacement as our current, but the repair cost should be lower. So we're looking at adjusting our insurance accordingly. Yes.
And do we have any tiers for parents that can't afford the insurance? We do the same thing with meals. I'm curious about this thing.
We don't have, because it's not a required fee, we don't have waivers for it. But certainly if it's something that the board wanted to discuss, offering some tiers for that, we could look into that.
At least we can look at the data for like when it would come in handy for us to help some of the parents. Because we have history right now with enough history to look at what happened in the past. And if there is a need, I think maybe we should consider.
Yeah, I can share some information about that, about what that might look like. No
Like
problem.
right now, if somebody, if a student breaks a computer, Chromebook, and the parent can't pay for it.
We will do either like monthly payments. We will help as well. We're also we work with our school administrators to understand the totality of the situation, because if it's happening and it's an accidental situation, if it's something where it wasn't negligent specific harm, we understand that happens. Like a hinge will break on the device, so we're not going to charge a student for that. A motherboard, it goes bad when it hasn't had impact damage. We won't charge families for that either. So we do try to really evaluate the type of repair needed and make sure that it is something that should be charged for or that fee should be waived.
As far as the protective case, is that just the piece you said that was like screwed on to the tablet, or are these like carrying cases?
Yeah, that was for the Chromebook. So with
Okay.
these devices, we wouldn't do carrying cases, but what we want to do is put sleeves into the backpack, into students' backpacks. This way, so these devices also are a lot easier to carry in the backpack than the current devices. But to have a sleeve, just a bit of a cushion protective sleeve when it's in the backpack, so zippers, trappers, all those things, lunch boxes, those aren't scratching up the device while they're carrying them in their backpack. So a little bit of protection, and also potentially looking at that. Is there anything else we can do for the screen if we needed to?
Any other questions? Okay, if not, do a roll call vote.
Sager.
Aye.
Chesney.
Aye.
Zach. Aye. Eddie. Aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Kitzinger.
Aye.
Notini.
Aye.
Okay, 5.8, we need a motion to approve the purchase of portable units for John Jay Elementary School. This unit will be additional to classroom space at the school. The total cost, including water, electrical connection, is approximately $440,984.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions?
Yes, I'm just following up on a question I had asked in advance. We all know that John Jay has a need for space. That's understood, but in the resolution, it says programming is shifting to this building. I just wonder if we can get a little more explanation of, I'm assuming it's dual language programming students. I'm just trying to understand if they are students from another school that are moving into John Jay. If we could clarify that.
So I can clarify. I appreciate that question. So to avoid confusion, so we've had those regular shifts of the dual language program as students moved out of Brentwood, and then as the boundary shifted. So there have been students that attend outside the John Jay area that is impacting the overall population and enrollment at John Jay. But there are not specific students or programs that are going to be specifically housed in there. Each school will determine. So for example, Brentwood, when they got theirs, they decided art and music would be held in the mobile classrooms. Claremont did this past year, but they're really, each school, now that there'll be 3 schools with the mobiles, they're going to determine what activities, classes really should be taking place in those mobile classrooms. So it's not a specific program or a group of students that are moving that will be placed out there. It'll really be the needs of the building. So it could be interventions. It could continue to be art and music. It could be a specific grade level classroom, that type of thing, based on where they're located, the frequency of them having to move in and out between that, et cetera.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that statement, the programming is shifting. It sounded like there's something just happened.
I
And
think
that- so
it's
that's
more,
not-
that is what's contributing to the increased enrollment as part of the overall big picture. Not necessarily that that's what's triggering the portables themselves, but overall, when we started shifting out, that's why we see them at Frost, and now we're seeing that impacted over at John Jay as well.
Okay. Can you just clarify which students, like which schools feed into John Jay for dual language? Like for Forest View, I'm pretty sure I know. Is there any other schools?
Forest View, so I think we're down to like individual students as well, because as certain classrooms are hitting capacity, so we have some that are coming from maybe John Jay that are now going to have to go over to Juliet Low over to John Jay, Frost are over to John Jay, et cetera. Because at each grade level, when we hit those capacities, that's when we have to look, a new family moves in, where do we have room for those students to attend? So, but in general, Tom, maybe you could help me out. The boundary for specifically for dual language at John Jay.
The blended two-way program, students from the entire north side are eligible to attend, the monolingual students. So I believe we have students from Brentwood, from potentially Devonshire. I'm looking back, watch the head shakes.
Yeah.
Forest View for
We have good
sure.
reps in the back of there.
Frost.
Yeah.
The main. So they make that's that choice program. So parents are taking advantage of that choice program, which has enhanced the enrollment at John Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Now we can do a roll call vote.
Chesney.
Aye.
Zach.
Aye.
Eddie, I. Johnson.
Aye.
Kitzinger.
Aye.
Notini. Aye. And Sager.
Aye.
All right, the motion passes. Last action item, we have a District 59 Education Foundation donation. Would anyone like to read?
You want me to read all?
Sure.
All right. Be it resolved that on the 7th day of May, 2025, the Community Consolidated School District 59 Board of Education approves the donation from the District 59 Education Foundation to Ridge Family Center for Learning and Brentwood Elementary School totaling $650. Be it further resolved that the superintendent shall communicate to the District 59 Education Foundation in writing expressing the appreciation of the members of the Board of Education, and that this donation shall be listed in the official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I just want to point out this was the last of the mini grants that the foundation had done, and they're all around gardening and stuff, experiences for the students, and so they were happy to fund them.
Wonderful.
That's
Okay.
always very much appreciated, all the help for our schools. All that to our schools and kids. I know they enjoy it, so thank you so much.
Good. All right, roll call vote.
All right. Zach.
Aye.
Eddie, I. Johnson.
Aye.
Kitzinger.
Aye.
Notini.
Aye.
Sager.
Aye.
Chesney.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Okay, reports of the Board of Education. We have the Behavior Intervention School Safety Committee, Miss Eddy.
So we just had our meeting today, and our SROs came and spoke and explained how, their program is going. And we had a great turnout.
Good, thank you. For the Policy Committee, there's no press updates or anything, right? All right, one coming up. Keep a lookout. Curriculum and Assessment Committee.
I got nothing, but I have 100 other things to report. There were a lot of school visits this month that I participated in. First, Michelle and I went to Juliet Low. It was Disney Day. We saw lots of cute Disney princesses, Mickey ears. Thank you to Mrs. Smith. It was wonderful to see the students during the SEL time, especially in their community gardens, which are fully inclusive with students from the ELS program. So it was great to see that Low is now using all their space to accommodate the student and staff of ELS, and overall it was a wonderful visit and a very positive place. Okay. Second was I did a Salt Creek visit with Nicole. Thank you to Ms. Rodriguez. We got to see our monolingual and our dual language classrooms, and we also got to see LRC time, art and music. And in addition to the school tour, we got to watch Double Gym with Mrs. Metcalf and Mr. Phillips and see how they're dealing with the challenge of increased gym in a limited space. And a big shout out to our gym teachers, because 40 first graders in a double gym class is a lot of energy coming at you, and they handle it masterfully.
No, just thank you to the staff at Salt Creek. It was a wonderful visit, and we can't wait to go back.
And the last one, second to last, Nicole and I went to Devonshire also. Thank you to Miss Stone for showing us around. Another great opportunity to see SEL lessons in action in addition to a larger school tour. We got to speak about initiatives for newcomers at Devonshire, especially the influx of Russian and Ukrainian speaking students in the Devonshire neighborhood. We got treated to songs from the 4th grade music class, and we got to hear stories about bunnies from kindergartners. Right after.
Yeah, that was my favorite, listening to the stories for sure. That's always fun.
The last one, also in Nicole, we got to see our junior high students on the devices for the update. So thank you to Ms. Hamilton at Friendship for letting us interact with our very, very bright ELA students. It was once again a joy to watch the students on the devices, to see how quickly they adapt and the great potential, I love this especially, they have for interactive teaching and learning. And we're very happy that we've approved that tonight, and hopefully we'll get a quick turnaround and everyone will get to train on the devices and get to fully integrate them into their classrooms.
Thank you. Finance and Facilities, Ms. Otini.
No updates, but I am looking forward to having another meeting to talk about the upcoming budgeting process. It looks like in our next agenda, we're going to talk about setting a budget for next year. So I'm looking forward to, having a meeting kind of surrounding that whole discussion and plan. And just as for what I've done, as Sarah had mentioned, went on a very nice visit to Juliet Low School, had a great morning visit with the students and staff, and also Sarah and I are going to be visiting Holmes Junior High on Friday. That's it.
Thank you. NSSEO, I'm sorry, I'll do Insurance Committee. We just approved a lot of insurance. For the upcoming year, EdRed, IASB, everybody gets the updates. I don't think there's anything, pressing or super important in those. So that's for 6.6 and 6.8. And then 6.7, NSSEO, Mr. Chesney.
Currently, no update that there is a meeting going on at this very moment that I'm missing. I'm hoping to watch it and happy to do that update next time.
Okay. D59 Education Foundation, Dr. Sager, do you want to?
Yeah, so in addition to the $650 of the gardening related mini grants, the 59 Education Foundation approved their District 59 scholarships for the high school, and the high school students, so they select students from each of the high schools that District 59 feeds into. They have to have been a District 59 student for 3 years, write an essay, that sort of thing. Yes, and that I'm trying to be very careful because I know the names and not all of the awards have necessarily been handed out yet. And so there's been moments where I know that student, but I can't say why. But that once they're all awarded at the senior nights, then they'll do a presentation at the board here. Yeah. And then I let them know to expect Ms. Zach at the next meeting.
Great. The last one is the Long Range Planning Committee. I was at the last meeting. It was just yesterday. So we are specifically for like long range facilities planning. The next item will be looking next month at the boundary study. And then in terms of moving that forward, it'll kind of take a pause over the summer, and then we'll pick it back up next fall in terms of like the long range facilities planning. For like board planning, we are going to engage with, hopefully after this meeting, we'll get a proposal from Perry, who did our last strategic plan, to kind of re-engage the board and kind of get us up to speed with so many new board members who weren't involved in that process. Over the summer, have some working sessions where we just kind of look at the plan, where it's been, where it's going. Not a new plan, just kind of like a board level thing to make sure we're on the same page as we head into next school year. Anything else? Good. Okay. All right. Next, we have a board member recognition.
Well, I'll kick it off. So tonight is the night where we bid farewell to one of our board members and welcome a new board member. And so I just wanted to take a moment, and then I will turn it over to your fellow colleagues here if they would like to say a few words. But tonight we take a moment to recognize and express our heartfelt appreciation to Dr. Joe Sager. for his 4 years of dedicated service to our school district. Throughout his tenure, Dr. Sager has been a steadfast advocate for all students, always bring thoughtful insight and a collaborative spirit to the table. Whether he's serving on the Facilities and Finance Committee, representing our district at NSSEO, staying actively engaged with EdRed and the Illinois Association of School Boards, attending conferences, serving as a liaison for the Education Foundation, he has approached each and every responsibility with integrity, care, and a deep commitment to public education. One of the qualities that stands out most is Joe's ability to work as a true team member, collaborating with fellow board members, of which there have been many, and with me as a superintendent. And regardless of our personal opinions or our differing points of view, he has always come together to work collaboratively. His focus has always remained on what was best for our students, our staff, and our community. Dr. Sager has consistently gone above and beyond as a voluntary board member, participating in multiple negotiations, attending III conferences, going to trainings, visiting with staff, building strong relationships with other area board members, and taking the time to visit each and every one of our schools, and often more than once. His presence and genuine engagement have been felt and appreciated by all. And while we are going to miss his leadership here, we are very proud that he is going to continue to serve our broader community as a board member at the High School District 214. He is a glutton for punishment. So we wish him continued success in his next chapter, and we thank him sincerely for his service, his advocacy, and his unwavering commitments to all students and families in District 59.
Thank you. I'll just say we're losing, I think you have double the experience of the next most experienced board member up here. So I've loved working with you. I appreciate all your insight and all of the knowledge that you brought in terms of like analyzing the data and bringing that to the forefront and making sure we're using that to make the best decisions possible for our students. So I know District 214 is getting a good board member, and we appreciate your service.
Joe, I just want to say, I actually very much every time, whenever we had debate, whenever we worked on anything, I definitely enjoyed your way of thinking and the approach to arguments that you have, and your active collaboration. I mean, I do appreciate you listening to us and giving us your opinion. I definitely widened my point of view, and I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say I've seen how incredibly hard you've worked for the board and how much of your personal time you have given to the district. And I know you're going to do just as well in 214. So good luck. Congratulations.
I want to say thank you. Just getting on the board a year ago and seeing how you help work with everybody and bring in not only your personal experience, but your educational experience, your background to really look and dive deep into what the students need, how the students need to continue to grow has been fabulous. And your hard work during probably one of the toughest times to be on the board the past 4 years. So thank you.
I can second that, Joe. I've watched your leadership over the years, all the ups and downs that you've been through, and you've really just been a solid leader. You've been a great asset to the district. I wish I could have gotten to know you more, but I you'll be on 214. I think we'll be seeing you, and I just thank you and good luck in your next venture.
I will say ditto to what everybody else has said. You definitely have a good way of giving your opinion and all of your knowledge to this board. You have given us a lot of your time over the years, and 214 is very lucky to have you. So we will be seeing you, I'm sure.
I don't want to say anything. Yeah, I do. Okay, so I just want to thank my fellow board members. It's been great to work here, and not all, obviously you're all newer, and I've worked with several other board members as well. So if they're watching out there, I'd like to say thank you to them as well. And I want to thank Dr. Bresnahan, the administration, the building administrators, the teachers, the rest of the staff, the maintenance guys, the ESPs, the volunteers in our schools. All of them have to work together for us to have improvement. I mean, the efforts of the students are great. If you sit down and watch the students work, they put in a lot of work. And just making sure that we have the supports behind them is critical. And it's all about the students. So thank you, everybody. It's been an exciting 4 years.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, next, do we have to do it like, do we have to certify? We don't certify these results, right?
No, the results are there.
Okay.
So that is, they've been certified.
Okay, so next we have the seating of the new board. 3 are currently up here, and we have one more who can join us. Going to do it at the podium? Okay, got it. All right, so if you, yeah, all 3, Nikki, right, they have to do it again?
Yep, all of you. Yep. Well, I mean, yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, I think you all see at the
Okay.
podium, that way it'll
Thank
capture
you.
you the best, I think. Yeah, perfect. Make sure the mic's on.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Right.
All right, so each school board member, before taking his or her seat on the board, shall take the following oath of office. You guys can take it
All
away.
at the same time, right?
Yep.
Okay. I,
Ryan Bickler,
do
solemnly swear
or affirm
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Community Consolidated School District 59 in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability. I further swear that
I shall respect
taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets. I shall encourage and respect the free expression
of opinion
of my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees. I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall
Abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels. As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district. I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Consolidated School District 59. I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework. I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law. I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community school
to
advance the vision for Community Consolidated School District 59
and
shall strive to work.
work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision of the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development. The board president will administer.
Oh, good. You guys are good.
All right, now the board president will administer. Board president.
Congratulations.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys want to, if you want to say something, you want to have a seat and then you can say it from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We had a choral reading going there.
Welcome. All right, Nicole, do you want to say anything?
Oh, sure. I will begin. Very excited to have been appointed in August, and I am just even more excited that I'll get to be with you all, well, the majority of you, hopefully all of you, for the next 4 years. I want to thank my family, of course, for your support. And, like these are some long nights, so it's tough. And if you don't have support, I mean, it's really hard to do this job and be able to volunteer like I do. So I appreciate that. And all the voters, thank you so much. And I'm just looking forward to 4 more years. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle?
Yes, I wrote up a little something. I just would like to say I am so honored to represent the community as a member of the District 59 School Board. Along with my fellow board members, I will strive to ensure our schools provide students with the best opportunities to reach their highest level of academic achievement and personal growth in a safe, nurturing environment. I will work with staff, parents, students, and the community to achieve and maintain these results. Collaboration and mutual respect will always be a priority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kind of like Nicole, I'm also very thankful for the board members up here who appointed me back in March, and also for the community members who voted me in this past April. Thank you to, everybody who really trusts me to help with the board to make these decisions for our students. Thank you.
The only face we haven't seen up here, Ryan?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm honored to be sitting up here as a product of Salt Creek and Grove Junior High. Many of the experiences that I've had have shaped who I am today. My 3 kids are lucky to be taught by amazing educators in District 59 as well, so I'm very thankful for that. Please know that I want nothing more than for this district to succeed. So thank you to my family. Thank you to fellow board members. I'm looking forward to working with all of you and our admin and our teachers. So thank you.
Great. Welcome. All right, that is it for this meeting, and we will immediately have another meeting after this. So I just need a motion to adjourn this one.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, who was second?
Who would say? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? All right, the meeting is adjourned.
Oh, I don't have Ryan on here.
I don't think he votes in this one.
How
Does
does
he vote in
that?
this one?
Okay, so, okay, we'll talk in a minute.
Absolutely.
I'll abstain. I'll be absent.
Okay. Now we can call to order the special organizational meeting of the incoming Board of Education. Again, it is Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. If I could have Secretary Eddie call the roll.
It's not letting me save this.
Can you do absent for Joe?
Are you in the next meeting?
Yes,
There
no,
should be
no, I
another.
didn't do that yet. Okay.
No, I can't. We'll fix it later, right?
All right, Zach,
Present.
Eddie, present. Johnson,
Here?
Kitzinger,
Present?
Notini,
Present.
Bookler,
Present.
and Chesney.
Present.
Thank you. All right, so the first step is to determine, for the board reorganization, determine the length of office for president, vice president, and secretary. I think it's 2 years by default, correct? Do we want to shorten it?
We typically do it for a
No,
year, right?
leave it at 2.
Huh?
We typically do it for a year, right?
We do. If we don't do anything, it would stay 2 years. If we want to make it a year, we'd have to vote on it.
I'd say we've been doing a year. Why don't we make it a year?
So motion to make it 1 year. Any
Yes.
second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion passes, 1-year terms. We have to,
Yep.
sorry, I'm too fast. Ready? Okay. So next is establish a stipend for the Board of Education Secretary. We don't have to do anything, right, if we don't want to? Okay. Yeah, all right. So unless anybody wants to? No? Okay, can move on. Nomination and election of President of the Board of Education. So this will be now for the period of 1 year. What we do is anybody has a nomination for President, we would take all nominations and then do a voice vote.
I'd like to
Yes.
nominate T.R. Johnson for president of the school board.
I second that.
Any other nominations? No? Okay, if not, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion passes for vice president of the Board of Education, again for a period of 1 year. Do we have any nominations?
I nominate Michelle Notini.
I second.
Any other nominations? If not, can we have a voice vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, congrats, Michelle.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Moving on, we have the nomination election of Secretary of the Board of Education, again for a period of 1 year. Any nominations?
I nominate Nikki Eddy.
Second.
Any other nominations? If not, can we have a voice vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Good, sure. Okay, next we have to set the dates and times for our regular meetings. So I think we have them listed, generally speaking, the second Wednesday of most months, other than,
Correct. There is a conflict for parent-teacher conferences, which occurred so we moved that up, and those are the only times those do conflict with potentially NSSEO. So for the most part, we try to avoid. And then just to bring awareness, the October 1st also falls on the evening of the start of Yom Kippur. So we don't have students in session the next day, but just wanted to bring that to the board's attention. Obviously, we're still in school that day, but it does begin at sundown. So wanted to make sure you're aware before you voted.
So there's only one conflict of NSSEO, yes?
Yes, as far as we see here. Although you haven't yet established those dates, but that should be about where it is.
I guess if we have to, I'll survive.
okay, so can I get a motion to approve the meetings as outlined?
So moved.
I'll second.
And we can always change these, right? If something comes
So-
up or,
Yeah, I guess my question is, I don't know if anyone up here is Jewish, but just anybody who wants to come, any admin that need to come, that's when they start their, celebrations and worship and.
Yeah,
things like that.
could we make an exception for that one meeting? Over the years, that definitely has been an issue for people that I know have wanted to attend the meetings or watch the meetings. So is there an exception we can make for that one day, for that one meeting to be on a Tuesday or a Thursday?
That's totally at the discretion of the board.
Okay,
Mhm.
with everybody?
Yeah.
So well, is that?
So do we need to
It'd be Tuesday.
propose a date right now? Okay.
Tuesday, September 30th. Is that okay that we do? Doesn't matter?
Should we
Does it have to
keep
be
it in
like
October
the
or
month
does
of
it matter?
October?
No.
Okay. Then the next one would be Is Thursday the 2nd, okay? Should be Tuesday or Thursday, or Thursday.
So I
No,
think
because the
it's-
second is
I think
actually
it-
the non-attendance
Yeah,
day, so.
I think it needs to either be
Tuesday.
before, or do we do the Wednesday
The
after?
following one.
So the reason why it's shifted from October 8th is because of parent-teacher conferences.
okay.
Which is why we moved it back to October 1st, but we just want, that
Yeah.
is what's creating the
October
conflict.
7th.
October 7th is a Tuesday, and
Yeah, so why don't we just do Tuesday?
We should probably do October 7th, so it's not so close to the 10th and so far away from the 12th.
budget, finance?
Yes, my recommendation, so I don't know what the process is or will be for next year, but that would have to be approved by September 30th and filed with ISB. I don't know how much time or what the plan is for next year with that particular piece, considering I don't know who's going to be in my place. So that's just a thought to me, is if you could do September 30th, that would be pretty helpful.
Okay,
I think that makes sense.
okay, that's fine. All right, so with the exception, we'll make October 1st, September 30th. With that noted, any other comments? All right, we can do all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Okay, now we have 2.7, the appointment of the ISB Governing Board Rep. So this is something Joe previously did, where when we go to the annual conference, I represent, well, not I, but whoever
Right.
will represent our voting interest when they do their big,
The delegate part,
yeah.
yeah.
since I'm the ISB committee rep, I'll volunteer for it unless anybody really wants to. You can do it? No?
It definitely sounds very interesting, but I'll let you have it.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll motion myself to be the ISB Governing Board rep.
Second that.
Okay, any questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, for the second meeting, we are at comments and suggestions from the public. Anybody? I didn't see anybody go back there. Anybody have anything they want to say? Address the board? No?
Just on the board.
Good.
Okay.
All right, we're good? Okay. No recognitions? No, right?
No.
Just, okay, so monthly updates from the superintendent. Dr. Bresnahan?
All right. So kicking it off this week has been Staff Appreciation Week. So we want to thank everybody who has contributed to help making this week really special for all of our educators in our buildings, our PTOs, our volunteers. We had lunches and breakfasts and I think foods and treats, and our building leaders do an amazing job of really making sure all our school staff feel really appreciated. So thank you to everyone for participating in that this week. And just an update on that long range piece, as TR mentioned during the committee reports, RSP, who is conducting our demographic and enrollment study, plan to give their presentation on all the data in June. So some of those questions, Michelle, that you asked earlier are going to be great to have in mind as they present where are our students attending versus where they are living. All of that is going to be data that will be presented in June and help really lay out an understanding as we embark on long-range facilities planning. All right, from accountability and assessment, our spring benchmarking is underway for reading and math with iReady. So that's going to run through the 23rd of May. Preliminarily, we're hoping things are going to look really good for us, and we anticipate and hope that we'll be able to present out on that data hopefully in June or July. Professional learning, as we've talked about, we're already booked and ready to start creating all the content for our summer 2025 professional learning. We have 80, I think actually we're close to up to 90 professional learning sessions that will take place over the summer for our certified and our ASP staff. So thank you to all of the teams who have really put in a lot of work to plan for that. And then we're also planning for our 25-26 priorities in terms of professional learning and ensuring that Institute Days, professional learning times, and all of those opportunities for staff to really get the professional learning they need is planned for. From Business Services, as Michelle mentioned, we are doing our preliminary budget reviews so that we will be prepared for next year. So Finance Department meeting with departments and schools to make sure that everything is captured in our budget for next year. The Brentwood edition is well underway and continues to be on time and on budget. The pictures are looking amazing. There are toilets in the bathroom, there are lights on the ceiling, there's some paint on the walls, and it really is going to be an amazing space. And the school is going to be ready to kind of move out the minute students leave. So we're excited for the work to continue over the summer and be ready for an opening, on time opening in the fall. The mobile classrooms, which were approved tonight, we are also preparing those permits that will allow them to be occupied at John Jay. And then ensuring across our business department that there is cross-training to ensure that all processes continue to function.
Dr. Brasnahan, I'd like
Yes.
to say I'm looking forward to the celebration of opening Brentwood.
Yes, it's going to be very exciting, a ribbon and everything.
I'll be there.
So it will be
I'll be there.
very
Definitely.
cool, very cool. Curriculum and instruction. So we are planning, plans are already underway and in place for our summer school, which will take place June 9th through July 3rd. It will be housed over at Holmes and Forest View for that combined campus, which is really nice for our students across the grade levels. We also have our ESY for students with special needs that'll take place at Rupley again this year. And then our curriculum and instruction plays also a large part in our summer professional learning planning, as they are often the people who are providing the content and classes for that coursework over the summer. And then again, really plans for 25-26 are really being finalized. What does a year at a glance look like for all of our curriculum work that is well underway? Our year 3 goal for literacy. Hard to believe we will be in year 3 already for literacy next year, which is remarkable. And really just fine-tuning, scope and sequence, all of that across all of our content areas.
Can I just ask a question about the
Of course.
summer school?
Sure.
Can we just have just a small overview of who's invited and, what the process is?
Yes, I believe Nicole had presented previously, but we have that information. Susan, do you want to?
Yeah, well, it's a very similar process we had last year. So we have students that are prioritized. We have also the junior high, we have enrichment as well as prioritized students. We have courses for them. We have a wrestling camp, a volleyball camp, musical programming. Trying to think what else. We have a dual language academy that takes place as well. So currently right now, I think we have approximately the same number of students as last year. I double checked the numbers, but we have about 400 or some students currently enrolled. We're fully staffed. So we're ready to go for this year. As we usually will provide a very detailed update to the board when summer school is over. Usually it's like early in September where you get to see the comparatives of what happened year to year and how it went. And making some improvements to communication, as we had some issues last year with just parents understanding what they were learning day to day. So those pieces have been put into place as well. We'll keep you updated as we go with any news around that. If there's any other questions, please feel free to reach out.
All right, human resources. So our new teacher network, we are excited. Our final cohort meeting and celebration for our first group who has really gone through this with our 2 new teacher network and mentoring facilitators. So that's been an exciting thing to continue to grow and focus in on supporting our newest 59 members and ensuring that we're just really reflective and collecting feedback to continue to improve that program. We have open enrollment currently going on for our insurance, so all of our staff members should be engaging in that. A lot of resources to support us through that process. Good reminders, because we want to ensure as many people complete that as possible. So that's a lot of staff to get through, making sure we get all our benefits in check. And it's exciting because we now have a new vision insurance option. So all of our staff members, make sure you are completing that. Tomorrow night is our retirement and recognition celebration that's hosted by the district. So here in this very room, we will have and in the lobby, we will have a reception from 5 to 6 p.m. Thank you to those who already RSVP'd. If you have not, please join us. And then we will do a presentation in recognition of our celebrants from 6 to 7 p.m. tomorrow. And then lastly, we continue all the regular functions of our Human Resource Department, finalizing our tenured evaluations. Hiring is well underway and actually moving along, and finalizing our bargaining agreements with both our certified and our ESP staff. So excited about that. Student services, as we've talked about, this year was our strong focus on implementing our PLCs across the district, and we've been partnered with PLC Plus. So we are now reflecting on this year and really getting out and doing some observations. Dr. Ossel has been going out to schools and really sitting in with PLCs just to get a firsthand look at how they're actually working, on lots of great feedback so far. And then setting our goals for next year and getting survey feedback from those lead activators in year one, so that we can help really shape and support that program for next year. We are conducting our annual safety review meetings across all of our schools with our first responders across the various municipalities, and those are really led in partnership with Director Malik, as well as all of our building leaders and our police and fire departments. We partner with an organization for our restorative practices training, and they are using our facilities now since we've conducted so many trainings here. So it's great. They're opening it up to other districts, and that will be hosted here next week. And then lastly, as we've reported out, Quaver Ready, which I know many of you, when you've done school visits, you've gotten to see Quaver Ready in action in the elementary. That resource is now ready for junior high for 6 through 8. So they're exploring that new tool to support our SEL curriculum. And last but not least, technology and innovation. We are looking at our technology specialist roles within the department, especially as we have a current retirement that will be happening within that department. So it's a good time to review the roles and responsibilities, and then looking at how we can ensure that cybersecurity is a part of those roles to support us in the district, which has been greatly needed this year. So that'll be a great addition to that team. And then planning for our summer work and those device refreshes. And I think Lucas will be coming in and helping putting on some screen protectors, is what I heard earlier, right? So excited. A lot of work goes on over the summer while our teachers and many of our staff get a much needed summer break. The heavy lift happens for many of our other departments in the summer. So facilities, maintenance, our custodial crew, technology, summer learning, all of that really happens. And this is a busy place in the summer. Excited for those plans. And that is it.
I just want to say I am a head screen installer in my house, so.
So you're certified.
Yes.
Dr. Bresnahan, is there additional staff that's hired over the summer to help with the devices?
We always hire additional staff over the summer for various projects. So I imagine that, yes, our technology, I'll let Ben handle more, but it is a great opportunity for a lot of our high school students, college students home for the summer, very busy working grounds as well as in the tech department. Ben, do you want to?
Yeah, and typically for the tech department, we'll have our building techs work over the summer who are willing and want the extra pay. And so they're familiar with the environment, and then they provide support with setting up the devices. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think next we have some discussion items. The first is we'll be adopting the fiscal year 25-26 budget and putting it on public display for a hearing.
So currently Janet Russo and I are working on the budget in tandem with the entire district. A lot of moving pieces are occurring. So we time it so that it is on public display from July 1 onwards, and then you have until September 30th to approve it as a board. Then we submit it to the state. So I'm anticipating that we're going to ask it to be approved September 30th as that public hearing. And we will go over 30 days prior so that we ensure that everybody sees the budget and make sure that it's transparent. we've been very good with that. We want to continue that practice.
I'd just like to add if we could schedule a finance committee meeting somewhere after you guys do your work, but then, if we can have the finance meeting before before the public hearing.
Absolutely. Yeah. It would be good for us to also review, here's the process, here's what we're doing. Budget book, sort of what we were doing again, we brought back last year, making sure that as many details are as possible so we can look through it and everyone can understand and know it. For sure.
So roughly when would that take place? After July 1?
Well, we can do it prior. I mean, I want to make sure that people are at least aware of the process at the board prior to July 1.
Any questions? Other questions? 6.02, the determination of serious safety hazards.
So currently, we have Illinois Department of Transportation has several serious safety hazards that we worry about. We are actually currently looking into Mount Prospect because we found that we were looking to make sure that we have additional crossing guards and ensuring that we have those spaces that if kids need to be transferred through. But yeah, the hazardous conditions are pretty unchanged. The state doesn't really change much on it. So we go out of our way to make sure that we can work with crossing guards if need be. Mount Prospect has been great with it. We're asking for an additional one at this current time. It's no cost. It's just seeing if we can get another volunteer.
So how do we determine which schools have crossing guard?
We love every school to have a crossing guard. There are certain municipalities that are a lot easier to work with because just even getting the volunteers can be difficult.
Yeah.
Or the municipality may be stressed in terms of what they need to have. So Mary Gonzalez is excellent. She's very strategic with looking to see where we can put certain crossing guards and why. She's been doing that. And this is another example of her doing that analysis because we've been told no before by other places, but we still do what we can because safety is first.
Okay. Direct the school treasurer to transfer interest earned.
So this is one where we shouldn't have any interest in it, but I want to make sure that in the event that something were to occur, the debt service is essentially what you're paying for with the bonds. So if there's any additional funding, my humble opinion is that it should never go straight to debt service because it's already coming out of the tax base. And the thing is that those bonds are non-callable, so it's not like we could pay them early anyways. So we just put it into the ed fund for now. If there are any additional plans down the line with the interest piece, we can work on that, or we can work on how else with debt service. But this is something that I'm always worried about until 2020, I think it's 2028. It's the last payment, March 1st. So we just make sure that we keep the interest out of that so that it's clean.
Can we, I don't know how large the dollars are here, but could we reduce the levy for the principal and interest if we know that we have interest that we can apply towards it?
That is a total possibility for sure. What we would do then is by January, you debate and that whoever person it is would reach out to the county and say to reduce the tax by a certain amount, and then the district would take on the remainder for that given year.
Okay, so that's something we can keep an eye on?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. The device at home parental controls.
This is an item we've been talking about for a couple of meetings. The at-home parental control options that we've looked at have led us to securely filter and home. That comes at a cost of $24,215 per year. The features are listed there in the bullet, so families would be able to view their child's online activity. They would be allowed to allow or block specific websites or categories, pause, resume internet access, and set schedules. We did issue a survey to families. The item on there that was of most interest was viewing the child's online activity. And with Securely, you can also get a weekly report or a daily report of your child's activity. There's an app that you can open up then and just go in and set which categories, which sites you'd like to block. Then you can set schedules, or if an event arises and you just need to pause the internet activity at any time. So students really love to hate that one, but that's an option for families. The additional services that we're looking at, we have one that would allow us to continue. So we currently use Hapara in our classrooms. That's a resource that allows staff to look at students' screens while they're working in the classroom, send links, send messages. It really helps with classroom management. We're looking at an option with Securely, has a little better interface, has resolve some of the issues that we have with Hapara. So we have some staff that are currently testing that, who are our more often Hapara users, and giving us feedback on if it makes sense to move over to that Securely classroom, it's called. As with all things, you can get a bundled price if you have more services that are included. So I'll report to the board what the cost would be if we were to add that service. Right now, it's less than what we're paying for Hapara, so there would be kind of a sort of offsetting cost a little bit with our total, what we're paying with both Hapara and what we would be paying for the filter addition for the home controls. There's a couple other resources we're looking at as well, but I don't know that we would go with them for next year. But we would be looking at them more next year as well as part of our security suite.
I just want to say I appreciate you giving us the feedback from the parents. I think that, it's nice to be able to either have that control, or if you're a little more free at home, then you kind of have that, that ability to set those filters how you want them. Also, being able to see Securely in the classroom when we were in there, it was very cool what the teachers can do and see, and you can just stop students from doing, a Google search or whatever, in the drop of a dime, and then turn it right back on, So I think that's great. I would love to hear the teacher feedback, so if you could share that with us, that'd be great. But I think we're moving in the right direction. I appreciate all your work. Thank you.
And I like how the Securely, my district uses it, and we could push out a website to all the kids as well.
Yes.
We don't have the feature where the parents can view it. I've had several ask over the years, hey, how can I see what they're doing? I didn't know that was a possibility, but I think that would be great. So to offer that as an option for the parents.
Excellent.
Definitely echo the comments. Yep.
I just have a
Appreciate the
request,
work.
which I've made several times whenever we talk about this, is if there can be an opportunity for parent on-site training, like if they need any help in how to use it at home, if just maybe offers a few opportunities after school or evening.
And the tech department, they can even put a web tutorial together if a parent couldn't make the meeting, so they can access it anytime. I don't know if the site has that or not.
Yeah, they do. They have a number of those resources, and they break them down by little quick, 1-minute tutorials. So yes, we can send that resource, but still have an evening where families want to come and discuss the options, or just talk about technology and home use in general.
With that in mind, are those tutorials multilingual?
I would need to go on the site and look. I don't recall, but I will look.
And this is, as a parent, I've looked into some of these before, and there's a cost with them. So, that's great if we could offer it to our families, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, the last item we have is the bid for seal coating and restriping.
So this is just part of our routine 10-year facility plan, ensuring that the asphalt maintenance program, so of course it'll be the seal coating, restriping, and sort of the crack filling for about half of the district's lots. We're very fortunate that we have a great schedule. Mr. Tiarina does a fantastic job with that. So the sites are listed. I don't have to read it to you, but there was a one company, which is Denler, that submitted the lowest bid, but they're also responsive and responsible. We did our homework on it, so that's what we're hoping to approve next month.
Any questions? All right. The last informational item is the 8th grade graduation ceremonies. There's a sign-up sheet. They are the last week in May. I think we have at least one board member at all. Nope. Was it Homes?
Have no one signed up yet for Homes.
Okay. If you haven't been to one, I highly recommend it. It's always great to see. So you can just go on the spreadsheet, sign up.
Is there any preparation for that?
No.
You don't need us to give a speech or anything?
Nope.
Although we could, and my son's graduation, not that I want to, but I've seen that.
Yeah, the schools have done a really good job of streamlining their programs. So
Okay, I'm all for
yeah,
that.
you often help, either
Pass
pass
out.
out diplomas or shake hands. It's a nice time to be up on stage, be recognized, but support our students. So they do a really nice job.
I know when my son graduated 8th grade, I remember TR was there with Dr. Sager, and that was cool. And then the other thing that would be cool, I thought, is I don't know if we could work with having it on video for families to view as well for the 8th grade graduation. If they can get a video if there's family that can't attend. You came to my sons if you were there too? Okay. Thank you for coming.
We would probably need to contract a service. I don't think we would be able to get our equipment there and set up in time with what we have in the district. But if you want us to look at a contracted service for that, we could certainly do that. But the way the nights are, it would be tough. We only have enough equipment for kind of one venue. So to get between the two and that are on the same night might be a little bit tough. But
No, I didn't know they're at the high school. I didn't know if the high school had something or.
we can reach out and ask.
If that was something our families wanted, then.
This is true that Friendships is going to be at Elk Grove High School this year, correct? That's they're both at Elk Grove High School this year?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you could get signed in, I would say before you leave tonight, if you're able to sign up, because they do put the programs together. And so the schools would really appreciate knowing as soon as possible.
Okay. I think that's it, right? Okay. So I just need a motion then to go into closed session for items A through F.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll convene in closed session. Okay.